Something is happening inside the Cleveland locker room that no one expected, and those watching practice have already noticed. The hierarchy that seemed set is beginning to shake. A player that was supposed to be merely a supporting role is attracting so much attention that, behind the scenes, there's already talk of major changes even before the season starts. And the most curious thing? All of this is happening much faster than coaches and analysts anticipated. The question remains, are we about to witness a historic turnaround, or is this just preseason hype? I'd really like your thoughts on this scenario, because the discussion promises to be heated. And if you want to always stay well informed, give us a like and comment now. Who do you opinion will be QB1? Now, Dillon Gabriel is turning heads inside the Cleveland Browns facility, and if you haven't been paying attention to what's happening at training camp, you might be missing the biggest quarterback storyline of the offseason. The rookie out of Oregon isn't just fitting in, he's making waves. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Joe Flacco is the favorite, Kenny Pickett was brought in for a reason, and Deshaun Watson is still on this roster recovering from that Achilles injury. But what if I told you the Browns coaching staff has been so impressed with Gabriel that they're already testing him with responsibilities they wouldn't dare give most rookies this early? Stick around, because the way this quarterback room is shaping up could change the entire direction of the Browns season. Let's start with the facts. Gabriel was a third-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, a former star at UCF, Oklahoma, and Oregon, and he's coming into Cleveland after finishing third in Heisman Trophy voting last season. He threw for 3,857 yards, 30 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, and added 19 rushing scores over his last 2 college seasons. Sure, at 5'11", he's undersized for an NFL quarterback, and critics have questioned whether his arm strength will hold up against pro defenses. But here's where it gets interesting. The Browns don't seem to care about those concerns. What they care about is what's going on in Gabriel's head, and according to multiple insiders, they believe that from the neck up, he's as sharp as any quarterback they've seen in years. NFL Network's Judy Bautista revealed that the Browns started increasing Gabriel's workload during the spring simply because he was processing information so quickly. They didn't expect to be feeding him this much this early, but he kept absorbing everything, forcing the coaching staff to push him further. That's not just impressive, that's rare. When a rookie can take on more playbook responsibility than expected, it changes how a team views him, not as just another backup, but as someone who could actually run the offense if needed. Bautista specifically said that the Browns loved his processing speed, his decision-making, and his ability to minimize mistakes. If you're a fan wondering what's happening behind closed doors at Berea, that's the kind of stuff that moves a guy up the depth chart. Now, let's talk about that depth chart. Officially, Joe Flacco is still the frontrunner to start Week 1. He's a proven veteran, a Super Bowl MVP, and Kevin Stefanski trusts him to manage games while Deshaun Watson recovers. Kenny Pickett, traded from Pittsburgh, has also looked solid, and he's expected to compete for the starting role if Flacco stumbles. But the real battle, as Bautista pointed out, is happening in 2 separate lanes, the veterans fighting for the top spot and the rookies fighting to be the primary backup. Gabriel is currently winning that second battle. Insiders like ESPN's Tony Rizzo and Tony Grossi have already stated publicly that Gabriel has the edge over Shedeur Sanders, who was taken 2 rounds later in the draft. In fact, Grossi went as far as to say the Browns are intrigued by Gabriel and see him as someone with the mental makeup of a first-round pick. And that brings us to Shedeur Sanders. The former Colorado star has his own hype, but Cleveland insiders aren't buying him as a legitimate threat for a roster spot, let alone the starting job. Sanders has been making some nice throws in camp, even building a surprising connection with undrafted receiver Luke Floria, who's been catching everything thrown his way. But let's be honest, that's more of a feel-good story than a serious quarterback competition. 2 veteran insiders went on record saying Sanders isn't even in the conversation to start, and with the Browns unlikely to carry 4 quarterbacks on the final 53-man roster, Sanders might need a perfect preseason just to stay in Cleveland. Meanwhile, Gabriel has already shown enough to be considered the rookie with the best chance of sticking. All of this leads to the big question, how far can Gabriel climb this year? Can he legitimately push Flacco or Pickett for snaps if his progression continues? The Browns open preseason against the Carolina Panthers on August 8th, and that game might be the first real test to see if Gabriel's rapid development in practice translates to live action. Remember, this will be his first game since the Rose Bowl, and you can bet the coaches will be watching his every decision. If he looks poised, if that quick processing speed shows up under pressure, then the conversation around the Browns' quarterback situation could change dramatically heading into the season. So, Browns fans, here's where I turn it over to you, because this is where it gets fun. Do you think Dillon Gabriel is the real deal, or are we just getting caught up in the hype of a smart rookie with no real NFL experience yet? Could he actually move past Kenny Pickett, or is this still Joe Flacco's team until Deshaun Watson comes back? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. And here's the thing, Browns fans, this isn't just about who's starting week 1. This is about what the Browns are building for the entire 2025 season and beyond. Because if Dillon Gabriel keeps impressing the way he has, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry might have some very tough decisions to make. Right now, Gabriel is being treated like a long-term investment, not just a camp arm, and that speaks volumes about how the organization views him. Tony Grossi's comment that from the neck up, he's a number 1 pick is no small praise. That kind of football IQ is exactly what Stefanski wants in his system, someone who can process quickly, adapt to changing defensive looks, and keep mistakes to a minimum. And if you followed this team long enough, you know how badly the Browns have needed consistent decision-making at quarterback. But let's not gloss over the obvious challenges. Gabriel is still undersized by NFL standards, and we've seen plenty of smart college quarterbacks fail because they simply couldn't make the physical throws against NFL defenses. His arm strength has been questioned for years, and those questions won't go away until he proves he can hit tight window throws at the pro level. And while mobility has been one of his strong points, 19 rushing touchdowns over his last 2 college seasons, NFL defenses close gaps much faster than anything he faced at Oregon, Oklahoma, or UCF. So, as much as we're hearing glowing reports, we have to keep in mind that practices and live game speed are 2 very different things. Meanwhile, let's talk about the ripple effects this could have on the rest of the quarterback room. Joe Flacco, as mentioned, remains the likely starter for week 1. He's earned that respect, and he's the safest option while Deshaun Watson continues his Achilles rehab. But Kenny Pickett's spot isn't as safe as some might think. If Gabriel outplays him in the preseason, are we sure the Browns keep both? Remember, this team might only carry 2 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster, maybe 3 at most. That means someone's going to be traded or cut. And if Gabriel clearly outshines Pickett, the Browns might decide that keeping the rookie as the backup makes more sense than holding onto a veteran who hasn't proven he can win consistently in the NFL. As for Shedeur Sanders, his situation looks even murkier. Yes, he's been making plays with Luke Floria, and yes, he's building chemistry with some receivers, but the reality is harsh. Browns insiders aren't buying his chances to crack the final roster. Tony Rizzo flat out said the battle to watch is between Pickett and Gabriel, and Grossi confirmed Gabriel is already ahead of Sanders in the pecking order. Unless Sanders has a breakout preseason, we might be looking at a trade candidate or someone who ends up on another team before week 1. So here's what's really at stake. If Gabriel keeps trending upward, this rookie could be the biggest storyline in Cleveland's 2025 campaign. Imagine this, Flacco starts the year, manages the offense, but if anything goes wrong or if injuries pile up, Gabriel could be the guy stepping in, not Pickett. And if he plays well in those moments, we might be talking about Dillon Gabriel as a legitimate starter candidate much sooner than anyone expected. For a 3rd-round pick who was supposed to sit and learn this year, that would be a massive leap. The Browns' first preseason game on August 8th against the Panthers isn't just a routine exhibition anymore, it's going to feel like a proving ground. Every snap Gabriel takes will be dissected, every throw will be evaluated, and every decision he makes will either build or crush the growing buzz around him. If he looks anything close to what he's been showing in practice, don't be surprised if the narrative changes quickly from Flacco as the clear starter to how long before Gabriel gets a shot. So now it's up to you, Browns fans. Do you want to see Gabriel get that shot sooner rather than later? Should he be pushing Kenny Pickett for that backup role immediately, or is this all too much hype for a rookie who hasn't played a single NFL down yet? Let me know in the comments if you think Gabriel could be the Browns' future at quarterback, because we might be witnessing the beginning of something special right here in Cleveland. And hey, if you're as excited as I am to keep tracking this quarterback battle, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Go Browns!